Though there is no new vlog today, but I have come with this video with a solution to one of the problems that you all are facing, because I've got many queries from you all on this. This is related to drafting of a legal notice. You all wanted to know how to draft it, when to send it, for how many days to wait, and if it is necessary. So I will show you one sample of a legal notice in this video today. Hi guys, this is Advocate Isha Kapoor and you're watching Vlogish. The clips that you just saw were of my office when we were drafting legal notices to be sent to various parties, and you all know when there are more than one parties, when there are multiple parties in any case, in any notice, in any matter that's before you, how arduous of a job it is to send notices, to send copies of everything that you're filing before the court. So legal notice is a stage that comes before filing the case in the court. In fact, I would say that it's the first act that an advocate does, first active act that an advocate does for the client. So it is an act where you draft all of your client's complaints, all of your client's concerns in a single notice that may consist of one or various pages. You attach proofs as well if you want, though I highly recommend that, and after that you send it to the opposite parties, to the defendants, or from whom you are claiming something. So it is sent in civil cases and not in criminal cases, because in criminal cases the state initiates the case, and generally there is no point sending a legal notice in such cases, even if we go logically. So here is the legal notice. I have a notice in my hand. You guys must be able to see it. Whenever you are drafting a notice, keep this one thing in mind. You can send it on your own self, or you can even engage any competent advocate, any lawyer, to draft the legal notice and send it for you. That's one of your choices that you have to make. So if an advocate is sending a legal notice, at the very beginning should come the part, first of all it should be on the letterhead of the advocate. In the very beginning there should be the name of your advocate. It must be made very clear that the contents of this notice are confidential. Before we learn about what all should be there in the main body of your legal notice, I am giving this information to all the aspirants of law, to all the CLAT aspirants, that you must, it is my recommendation that you should attend these tests that are scheduled on 12th and 13th of February at 7:30 p.m. in the evening at the Unacademy's app. It will help you to assess where you stand in the subjects legal reasoning, GK, etc. And once you know what your position is, thereafter you can plan for an exam accordingly. अगर CLAT एग्ज़ाम के लिए प्रिपेयर कर रहे हो और अनअकैडमी या किसी भी और मेंटोर को ढूंढ रहे हो जिससे आपको प्रिपेयर करने में हेल्प हो, तो अनअकैडमी का आइकॉनिक सब्सक्रिप्शन भी है जिसको मैं आपको रिकमेंड करूँगी, जिसमें कि आप बहुत सारे बैचेस को एक्सेस कर सकते हो एक साथ, अपने मेंटोर्स के साथ लाइव सेशंस कर सकते हो, एज मैनी एज यू वांट. ये बैच है जो 9th फरवरी को स्टार्ट हुआ है. उन लोगों के लिए भी ये है जिन्होंने क्विकली CLAT 2022 के लिए प्रिपेयर करना है, ज़्यादा टाइम उनके पास अब नहीं रह गया है. आपको डेफिनेटली इसमें एनरोल करना चाहिए. इफ़ यू आर एनरोलिंग यू मस्ट नो कि टॉपर टॉकीज़ जैसे एक्सक्लूसिव इवेंट्स भी अनअकैडमी प्लेटफॉर्म पर होते रहते हैं उनके सब्सक्राइबर्स के लिए. अगर आप सब्सक्राइबर हो तो आप एज मैनी बैचेस, एज मैनी क्लासेस एज यू वांट को एक्सेस कर सकते हो. उसके लिए आप पर कोई रोक नहीं है. इफ़ यू आर थिंकिंग ऑफ परचेजिंग द सब्सक्रिप्शन, डू नॉट फॉरगेट टू यूज़ द कोड VLOGISH, बिकॉज बाय डूइंग दैट आपको 10% एडिशनल ऑफ मिलेगा, जो भी आपकी फाइनल कॉस्ट होगी उस पर भी. ऑल द बेस्ट. देयर आफ्टर, clear statement, clear address should be of the advocate should be there. If you are writing it your own, then your clear address should be there. After that, phone number or email address must be provided, because if somebody has to contact you, if any of the opposite parties has to contact you, they must have all the details of your contact. After that, I would advise you to definitely write registered AD here, because by this way it will be very easy for you to track where the notice has reached once you will send it via post or speed post, or by any other method that you prefer. I would also advise that once you prepare this notice, you should not only send it by post, but you should also send it via electronic mode, that is through WhatsApp, email, phone number, any other mode that you have. After that, do not forget to clearly write the date on which you are writing and sending this legal notice, and post that you must write the names of all the parties. After writing the word to, just as you write in a letter, just as you used to write in letters when you were in school, just write names and addresses, and if you have phone numbers of the opposite parties here. That means the parties to whom you are sending or you are directing this legal notice. These parties are also referred to as notices or the addressees. So that means the notice is being addressed to them, the notice is being sent to them. If there are multiple parties, do not forget to name these parties as noticee number 1, 2, 3, so that it will become easy for you to write in the notice when you will discuss about the parties in the main body of this notice. After that, your legal notice starts with the word legal notice. Now comes one very important point. You are beginning to write the main body of the notice. At that point, you must keep this fact in mind, that the notice is being written after clear instructions from your client. And if your client is giving instructions from you, it must be made clear in the notice. Just as, for example, I will just read the first lines of the main body of my notice. It says, under clear instructions from and on behalf of my client, then my client's name, son of my client's father's name, resident of my client's address, and then the whole address. It says, I hereby serve you with the following legal notice. So I am making it clear that the contents of this legal notice are not described by me. I am just reproducing whatever my client has told me, and I am just telling you what I have been told to do. So you can also use the words such as that my client state. You can repeatedly use these words. Do not make it look like the advocate is cooking the story. In fact, you should make it clear at every point that everything has been stated by a client whose name, whose address, whose contact number has been written at the beginning of the main body. Now, if you are writing a legal notice, do not think that you do not need to research upon the case or upon the matter in your hand. You definitely need to do that, because even for computing the losses, for computing everything that you need to demand, all the compensation, all the harassment charges and everything that you are claiming here, you need to be thorough with readings on the subject. If you are a lawyer, you already know what kind of vast readings are available on each and every subject of law, what kind of vast jurisprudence is before us at every point of law. So you should describe all the events, all the facts that have happened and that your client has informed you. Thereafter, I would recommend making annexures of all the important points. If there are any payments that you are describing, you should definitely write the reference numbers. If you have made the payment through bank transfers or UPI, you should attach screenshots as well. If you have made the payments through cash, you should attach the receipts also. After that, after ensuring that you have all the annexures in place, that you have written it on behalf of your client only, you must be very careful in computing the amount that you are asking. The notice that is in my hand is for a consumer matter. So in that, what all you can ask for is the main amount that you're claiming, then interest on that amount. Do not forget to mention the date from which you are claiming that interest and the percentage of interest that you're claiming. After that, do not forget to demand the damages, other charges that you may have incurred in the process. Post that, do not forget to include the costs of drafting and the attorney's fees as well, because you don't want your clients to suffer after paying a hefty fee and not even getting it reimbursed from the opposite parties. Post that, you simply write a line that I am keeping this copy, a copy of this notice for my record in my office and for further necessary action if it will be required in the future at all. If you are writing a legal notice, I understand that you must be in a major problem like situation, but do not be too aggressive while writing it. And you need not also sound very neutral. While you can convey that you are not happy, that you are being harmed or you have been harmed and you seek damages, and if they do not comply with your request, you will definitely take further legal action. You will go to the court, and they'll have to pay even more, they'll have to suffer even more in that case. But remember that you do not cross the boundaries of language. Lastly, I would only like to advise you to be very brief, very concise while drafting a legal notice, and do not overstate things, do not overstate your case, or do not overemphasize on a particular point which is not required in a notice, because later on at any stage of your court proceeding or any stage later on in life, the contents of your legal notice may be read against your client. I am sure you don't want that to happen. Lastly, if you're sending a legal notice, do not forget to track it from time to time. It is also a good practice to write the number of days, the specified number of days in which you are seeking this payment to be released from the other party, if there's any payment involved, or the number of days in which you are seeking a reply from the opposite party, and tell them directly that in case you don't receive a reply in those number of specified days, then you will be constrained to take legal action against them. Post that, you can even call the opposite party once on behalf of your client to inquire the status of the notice, if it has reached them, and if you're mailing it, if you're sending it through post, if you're sending it through speed post or courier or any other mode, please retain the copies, the receipts that you receive from the post office. It has numbers which are required to track where your parcel, where your post has reached. I cannot emphasize enough on the point that your demands must be clearly stated in the legal notice, and if you think you need it, you may even have a separate paragraph reiterating all your demands, reiterating the important points that you have stated in the notice. That totally depends up to you and up to the drafting skills that you are trying to adopt. Even if you want, you can use a few judicial pronouncement, use a few case laws in your legal notice if you think that's absolutely required. As I said, do not overstate your case, do not state cases that may be used against you. So you must always remember, bear this in your mind, that this legal notice may act as a double-edged weapon. It is like a double-edged sword, which can even be utilized to your benefit. You can get the entire money back, you can get the compensation as well, you can get the charges that you have incurred on your attorney as well, but it can even be used against you. So be aware of whatever you are saying, be aware of whatever you are speaking as an advocate on behalf of your client. Even if you're writing on your own, I will have the same advice for you. I will meet you very soon again with a new video on a new concept. Bye for now.